Yo, welcome into the BeBall Jones podcast. The goal of this podcast in my business is to bridge the gap, to fuel hoop dreams into impactful realities on the court and beyond. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy it. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode. It is me, it's Nelson over there. It's a hooper, pro player. What's going on, brother?
Everything good, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. It's going to get a little hot seat today, man. I got an opinion on the game that might not be the most favorable. I don't think everybody would agree with me, but I'm gonna get off my chest and I want to see what people think about this. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't kill me, okay? Don't put me on that cross to crucify me yet. But I feel like winning isn't everything. When you're talking about high school and college sports, I think winning is a little overrated. Really, more in college when you're talking about the top tier guys than it is for high school. So let me just explain it for you guys, okay? So when you're looking at the top tier guys, like the people who are pro bound type of players, okay? Winning is everything a little bit more in high school than it is in college for them, but it's vice versa for high school guys who are just not necessarily pro guys in high school, but it's the opposite in college. So when you're in high school, or at least when we were growing up, you didn't have control over where you played because you didn't have control of your team. You just kind of luck of the draw if you had a good team in your environment. So it is what it was. You couldn't hop around and try to, have the best people transfer over all the time. Like the transfer rules and changed in high school. But now you can get your homeboys, 2 or 3 y'all play together, y'all can play travel ball together, everything, and you got a solid squad. We was growing up, you had to transfer, you sit out again, it's your time to just right, but like it was a little more work put in to actually get that championship. Versus in college, you have more control over it, but if you look at the top tier guys, most of them aren't winning like that for real, for real. They go into the league and they still doing fine. So I feel like overall, when you look at the premier guys, winning means more in high school, but not as much in college. And it's flipped for the middle tier, I guess you could say, for lack of better words, and lower. Winning doesn't mean as much in high school, it means even more in college. So I want to see what you think about it so far when it comes to that, man.
Okay, so I'm glad you kind of stipulated which ones is more important for which type of player you are, I guess is what you tried to say. Because it's like, if I'm not a league bound player, winning is everything. And I can tell you why. As a player who was in high school, not league bound, the number one thing you can do to get seen or noticed by college coaches is affect the game in a winning way. And what I mean by that is, in the game, we might not win, but I'm affecting winning. What I do on the court is going to help us win. That doesn't always mean scoring. That doesn't always mean, that don't even always mean like guarding the other team's best score. What you do affects winning. And that's the most important thing. As a player who is like you Lou Will, you LeBron, you Dwight Howard, you Kobe in high school, you probably gonna win off the strength of being yourself. So in high school, you probably gonna win just off the strength of that. So I understand what you mean by that part too. But what I will say is, if you got ultimate talent like that, like top tier talent at a young age, and you're losing, I will say it means something. It don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
But it means something. So I would say it isn't everything, but it's still very important because it's like, why aren't you winning? And you got this dude on your team. You got Kobe on your team, and y'all 3-22. It's something ain't adding up. You know what I mean? And then what it becomes then is, we talked about that a lot too on here in the NBA at least. But like even on high school level, what it becomes then is, these just empty stats. He on a sorry team. He a good player. He getting them up. So it diminishes what you do a little bit to say you're not winning. Excuse me. So like LeBron's team, St. Vincent St. Mary, They won a state. They won 3 state championships in a row, if I ain't mistaken.
I think so.
That's part of that part of what makes LeBron like, oh, he the real deal. He taking them to state every year. You
Yeah.
gotta affect winning both ways. It don't matter what type of player you are. If you talking about going somewhere, you talking about being a good player, you need to be effective winning. So if I'm not saying LeBron and them lost the state championship, he wouldn't have still been LeBron. But what I'm saying is, if they wouldn't have made it to the state championship at all, playing with a guy like LeBron James, it would have diminished him a little bit. So now you talking about, okay, maybe he ain't number one pick, maybe he number 3, number 4, because it's like, he good, but I mean his team bad, so we don't know
Mm-hmm.
how good he really is. He can do whatever he want to do. So now I take a trained eye to really be like, I think he's still gonna be good. You know what I mean? So it ain't. I see what you mean, but I don't know. I feel both ways. It's like you do need to be winning if you still want to
Mm-hmm.
be considered one of those top tier guys.
Yeah, I think so. I forgot what podcast I listened to, but I listened to a podcast, and it was a guy who was like, just since he came into the league, he was like a role player. He was never like the guy, and he was talking about how when he was in high school, oh, we won state champ, da 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 da. In high school, I was doing this, that, and the third. So it's like you forget sometimes that these dudes were like that guy at some point in their career. And it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, if you go even overseas, like, oh, I was killing at 16, killing this league. It's the top league or taking league in my country or whatever. And it's like I was averaging 35 and 12, or I was averaging 35 and 8 assists. And it was like, man, I forgot you was killer. Like most of these dudes in the NBA were putting up 30 plus points at some point in their career. They was like having some stupid numbers. You'd be like, wait, you like Pat Bev was doing what? He was scoring like who? Like, yes, him. The guy that you talking about can't shoot right now in the NBA, JaVale McGee, was dominating at some point in high school. So I think every NBA player has a phase of dominance in their career. And 9 times out of 10, that's in high school, and it probably ends in high school. You get to college, you probably ain't dominating the same no more. And that's where it's like you have to have that check mark of like the milestone privilege to be the NBA guy. So if you ain't state competitive, at least I ain't saying you got to win state, but you talking about, oh, we got a good chance to be either in the game, win the game, in the game, or at least like Final Four, or like somewhere in that level, like that region of winning. Then it's questionable. It's like, are you sure you're that guy? Because you're playing against these kids, and you're supposed to be like a pro bound player. So it hurts you a little bit to not be in that position. Um, but I say flip it, because if you're not that type of guy, there's plenty of guys that you know of who just weren't the guy that was cool, but you weren't playing at a top tier school. You weren't playing at state. You had no opportunity. Like you weren't looking at state when you was in high school. Like that was like a wish. That's all it was for you. But so you still end up in college doing your thing. And it's like for you, you ended up you a pro player, bro. Like the Marbles wasn't talking about no state championship. Like
Definitely was not.
boy, if y'all was talking about state, that would have been a whole other thing for you. But
Woo.
but you weren't. You still doing well for yourself. You still end up going to college, had a nice run there, and now you a pro. You feel me? So it's like the top tier guys, it's kind of like an expected thing. It's like, man, what was your state experience like? That's kind of what the conversation is. Yeah, we went to state and this, that, and the third, man. We lost 4 times, but every time we went to state, we lost. But if you said that, it's like, oh snap, you went to state. Oh man, you so cool, man. What was state like? For them, it's like, you didn't go to state? Boy, get him out.
Yeah.
Hey, boy, get him out of here. He didn't go to state. Man, what you talking about, bro? Like, were you at least runner up? Oh, all right, cool. You was in the final four. All right, cool. We'll take that. But it's a level of expectation to be that top tier guy. But when you talk about the average guys or the middle of the pack guys or lower, you need that, because that's the validation you need to kind of cross that threshold sometimes. So when it comes to high school, I feel like the top tier guys, that's a requirement. It's like you're expected. You should be averaging 30 in high school. You should be averaging 25 plus. Bro, this is cakewalk for you, bro. You playing against kids, like the whole thing about LeBron. Like, imagine you got to go against LeBron or Zion in high school, man. Like, you just got done with a goddamn calculus 2 test, and next thing you know, you got to worry about LeBron or Zion next game, and like high school John Wall. Like, dang, bro, I got this whole uh novel I got to read tomorrow, but now I got to guard John Wall. Like, come on, bro. Like, dang, bro, life is tough. You worry about trying to get your
But them memes when they talking about imagine you just left chemistry and now you got to guard LeBron. With them memes like that, I be taking them so serious because I be like, boy, I cannot imagine. Imagine
yeah,
having to play them players that got hoop mixtapes and
yeah,
you a regular dude. You a regular guy. And
yeah,
you probably see Buddy highlights on YouTube and you like, oh dang, we played them on Friday.
yep,
Like, is that St. Vincent St. Mary? Don't we play St. Vincent St. Mary? Yeah. Yeah, we play them next Friday. Oh no, I'm finna have a sprained ankle or something. I can't do that.
exactly.
I can't do that, boy. Oh no. You gonna have two different it's only two reactions to have to that. Either, oh bet I'm finna lock bro up and get a scholarship off him, or I ain't playing. Them the only two reactions you can have because there ain't gonna be no in between. Ain't gonna be like, oh, okay, we just gonna go out there and do what we can do. No, sir. It's gonna be fear
Mm-mm.
or it's gonna be happiness. That's all it's gonna
Yep,
be. Determination. And ain't gonna be
yep.
no in between. So I don't know which one I would have been, especially in high school. Because in high school, in the state of Alabama, you ain't playing nobody on that level in the state of Alabama. Very rarely would there be a guy of that level.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had some guys that was, D1. I think the last really great player we had in Alabama that was like he going to the league was Trendon Watford, in my opinion. And Trendon Watford in the NBA, he played for the Portland Trailblazers. He went to LSU out of high school, and then he went to NBA after two or 3 years at LSU because he a year younger than me, or a year or two younger than me. So that's the last great NBA ready player I saw in the state of Alabama. Granted, I ain't been keeping up with the high school scene like that since I left. So I don't know too much, but like when Trendon Watford, the last guy I can remember that was like he going to the league. So if I had to play against Trendon Watford, I probably would have been a little determined to play him because we both from Alabama, all that good stuff. We both bigs. I would have been like, okay, I'm going Trendon. I think I can handle it. Now, would I have been able to handle it? That's another story, and we ain't gonna never have the answer. So y'all don't need to be trying to be like Trendon Watford would have killed Nelson. Like, oh, okay, that's your opinion. But I think I would have been determined to play somebody like him. But to see somebody on a national scale, like a LeBron or a John Wall, them type of dudes, I would have been like, I don't know about this one, y'all. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. This gonna be tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Man. But another thing I throw in there about, that relates to your statements. So story time with since I always got to throw me a good story in there. Me and my good friend, my brother Shakar. I mentioned him to y'all before. Me and Shakar are two top tier players in our school. Like everybody knew we were like going to be the guys. Him and my guy Melvin, I always got to throw him in there. But Melvin didn't play college basketball. So, but most people knew me and Shakar was going to play college basketball because I'm 6'5" in high school, 6'6". He about 6'5", 6'6", and he playing guard and I'm playing big. But everybody knew, with our heights and skills and athleticism, we was probably gonna play college basketball. The thing was around the stigma around Shakar as far as colleges was. Now, Demopolis, we was playing good basketball. We was winning a good amount of games for Demopolis because Demopolis has not been known to have a good basketball team. It's all football. So, we literally my 4 years at Demopolis, we had losing season, 500 winning season. Those are my 4 years of high school basketball. So it's gradually got better. But the stigma around Shakari was while we was doing that, we playing good basketball our senior year, we winning some games, we got a winning record. The thing around him, he's not dominating. He needs to dominate. Because why? He is 6'6" guard playing at Alabama high school basketball. Not just Alabama high school basketball, rural Alabama high school basketball. Therefore, the competition is not even on the tier of a Birmingham or a Huntsville, you know what I'm saying, like bigger cities in the state. You playing rural basketball. So they expect you to be dominating. If he would have to dominate to prove that he was good enough to play at a high level. So D1s looked at him, D2s looked at him out of high school, but he was not dominating on that level. So they felt like he was not going to be good enough to play there out the gate. So that was his thing. Now he had some big games. He had some 30-pointers. He had the 41-point game that I referenced multiple times on here. That was the stigma around him, though. It was that there were still games that we play in other little schools, and he got 12. He got 14 regular games. Are we winning? Yes. But he was not a tier of player to be looking at like, oh, they're winning, so maybe, he's still doing enough to win. Like, no, bro, you got to dominate because the competition you playing against ain't all that. So for us to believe in you and what you can do, you got to dominate. That's how they was looking at him. Now we flip the script. We're looking at me. Now, me and Shakar are almost the same height, but I'm playing big. I'm playing center. And we got two completely different scout reports. It's like, okay, so now you got this Haskin boy. That's how most people refer me. We got this Nelson kid with the goggles. He a big. He run good. He block shots. He rebound. But once again, he playing rural basketball. He not scoring. He's not really shooting the ball. He can't shoot the ball like that. But he can play defense. He can rebound. And he can block shots. Some schools like that. Some schools is like, okay, that's good. We can use a big that can block shots, rebound, run the floor. But I'm small. I'm playing center. I'm 6'6". On a high level, you got to at least be 6'8" to be playing center. At least. Because you got to be at least 6'8", and you got to be strong because you finna play some 6'10", 6'11s. That's just what it is. So they looking at me like he could be a good player. He too small. He not skilled enough. Because we would have to move him to the 3 or the 4, and he ain't skilled enough to do that. So that's where they left me. So what happens to me and Shakari? We end up on the same level. Now we both JUCO in the same conference. Lo and behold, now we on the same level because we both had these things about us that colleges couldn't take us for. High-level colleges couldn't believe in what our abilities were at the time doing what we were doing. So I was doing, so we had two completely different reasons though. I was doing the things they wanted out of somebody in my position. I'm too small. So they would have to change my position. If they changed my position, I wasn't going to be able to do the things they needed at that position. Shakar doing everything they need at his position. He got the size, he got the athleticism, but he ain't dominating. He ain't attacking. His stats ain't good enough. So they ain't taking him. Now we on the same level. We playing JUCO basketball, playing college basketball. So these games still mean something. So now colleges are watching us trying to see how we develop. How do we develop? Oh, I'm still playing center. So we're going to see what he can do at this position. He playing college basketball now. He guarding bigger players, more skilled, more better big men. Let's see how he develop. What I do, I'm still a defensive juggernaut, block shots, rebound, run the floor. I'm getting a little bit more skill, but it ain't like I'm, turning into Dirk Nowitzki in there. So that's what I did. Him, on the other hand, he kind of doing the same thing. He's still a good player. He's not a great player. He's not dominating. So what happens to us then? As it would have it, Shakar goes NAIA. Why? High-level colleges can't trust him to be the scorer that they think he should be. And now you only got 2 years, so they're not taking the time to develop you. They want JUCO guys to come in now, ready now. So they looking at him like, if he starts scoring at junior college, we could take that. They're looking at me like, if he can get more skilled and stronger, we could take that. Shakar ends up going NAIA because he did not develop in that direction that they want. That doesn't mean he wasn't good. He just wasn't dominating the way they wanted him to. That most colleges wanted him to score. He was too passive in their mind. He was not aggressive enough in their mind. So they passed on him. A lot of bigger colleges passed on him. And then I ended up going D2, higher level than NAIA. Why do I go to a higher level? I had proven that I had the heart and the will to do the things that my team needed to do to affect winning. It didn't matter what they asked me to do. I was going to affect the game in somehow. I might not score, but I'm going to block shots and rebound. I might not get, my man might be bigger than me, but I wasn't going to let him dominate me. My man might be good, but tonight he not going to be great. He going to be okay because I'm guarding him. The other team might be better than us, but my defense was good enough for the team to not be killed, to not be dominated. You know what I mean? I was going to affect winning from my position. And that was enough for a lot of colleges to be like, yeah, we'll take that. He's a guy that we can use because he's going to affect the game in a positive way. So that's why I say winning isn't everything, but you got to affect winning. And Shakari's team was better than my team. Shakari's team put my team out the playoffs. So if winning was everything, Shakar should have been on a higher level than me. And I hate to sound like I'm downplaying what he did and who he is. He's a great player. He's a pro right now, as a matter of fact. Shakar is a great player. He's everything he needs to be. But that was the difference in our careers. The things they wanted him to do was not preceded by winning. They wasn't looking at him winning. They was like, what is he doing individually? But a guy like me, who ain't highly talented like that, I got to be effective in winning. It ain't all about my individual stats. How is he going to help my team win? That's the difference in us. And I think that difference is like they thought he could be a star, and they thought I could be a star in my role, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's where we are now. And we both pros, so everything still worked out in his own way. You know, God got a plan for everybody. So, but I think that was the main difference. Winning wasn't everything for him the way it was for me. I had to affect winning if I wanted to go to another level. Because I'm not going to give you 20 or 30 a game, but we're going to win the game if I'm out there. And that's what it came down to.
Yeah, so I want to take it to the college level now, man. I think for like the top tier guys, the guys you're looking at, oh, he's going to be one and done type of guy. Winning really means nothing for them for the most part.
Nothing.
Just beyond trash for them. Like, bro, just don't get hurt and don't be trash. Like, that's it for them. And really, I think I said it before. I think I said it on here before, but just a little help for you guys when it comes to March Madness. If you want to pick somebody to go to the all the way, look at the upcoming draft, the mock drafts. The top 3 picks, the little players they are, whatever team they're on, don't pick them. Just automatically count them out. Don't do it. No, there's no way they're going to win. 9 out of 10, they're not going to be the guy that wins. If you think I'm lying, help you out real quick. All right, so I actually did some research, guys, okay? The past 10 years, the number 1 overall pick, okay? I'm running by you guys. So taking Vic out, when beyond, we're going to take him out. He doesn't count.
Because he,
obviously. And he's still kind of young, so I'm, glancing over him. So before that, Pablo went to Duke. Before that, Cade Cunningham went to OK State. Before that, Ant-Man went to Georgia. Before that was Zion, went to Duke. Before that was DeAndre Ayton, went to Arizona. Markelle Fultz went to Washington. Ben Simmons, LSU. Karl Anthony Towns, Kentucky. Andrew Wiggins, Kansas. Anthony Bennett, UNLV. And before that was Anthony Davis at Kentucky. Now, out of all these guys, one player actually won a championship, and that was Anthony Davis. So we haven't had a number 1 pick be a champion since Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis finna be 30 like in a minute. So it was like, come on, man. So just a little, March Madness help for you guys. Don't pick that team, okay? But just to add even further detail of what this is, okay? You've had 2 guys make it to the Final Four. Now, granted, Karl Anthony Towns with that team, that was that team that went undefeated and lost in the Final Four. So they could have made it to that next round. They just lost to the Final Four. That was that year. Everybody else was like, you had 1 guy make it to the Elite 8. You had 3 guys get dropped out the second round. 1 guy get dropped out the first round. And 2 of them didn't qualify. Like Markelle Fultz was terrible that year. He was 9-22. Ben Simmons and LSU didn't qualify. Well, they could have qualified, but they just like chose not to go in the NIT, whatever. And Anthony Edwards, the only exception to this. Yeah, it's totally different. And Anthony Edwards was COVID year, so that whole season got cut short. But he was 50. He was like 50-50. He was like 16-16 that year. So 9 times out of 10, you ain't making nothing. So
he ain't going.
You ain't getting nothing out of that, man. So you've only had 2 players make it to the Final Four. 1 player make it to the Elite 8. The rest of them got dropped out at second round or earlier. And you had 1 champion. So it's like, come on, bro. Like the top tier guys aren't really going there. I could have went more in depth and went like the first 3 picks, but that's too much to try to get in here for brevity's sake. keeping right there number one pick. And for those type of players, it doesn't matter as much. Now, for the teams that are winning, it's a little bit different mix. It matters a little bit more for them because those guys, 9 times out of 10, are going to be the most improved player in the league, or the guy who year 3 or 4, oh, where'd he come from? What happened to him? If you think I'm lying, I did some more research. Okay, y'all should be proud of me. I actually did research, man. So the highest drafted player for each of those years. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go Anthony Davis year. Of course, he was the number one pick that year. All right. Nope, I'm lying. Let me go back and do the champion that year. So the champion was Kentucky. Anthony Davis was number one pick that year. Anthony Bennett's year, the champion was Louisville. Gorgie Jang was the highest drafted player. He was 21st pick. Andrew Wiggins here, that was like the Wiggins and Embiid combo. That was that year. He was third pick. That was a real tough team. But yeah, that year UConn won. Shabazz Napier was the top pick from that team. He won 24. Karl Anthony Towns year, Duke won. That was Jahlil Okafor. That was like that Duke squad where it was like the freshman five, something like that. That was Tyus Jones, Jahlil Okafor, Justice Winslow, and a couple other guys.
Ooh, I used to love watching them play.
That was like, can I get the Duke starting five haircut? That was them dudes. That was that year.
Oh, yeah, they all had it. Yeah.
That was funny, man. But Jahlil Okafor was the highest pick from that team. He went third. Villanova year, when they won, that was Ben Simmons' year. This team was interesting. No one from that team got drafted, but it's because they were so young. They won like freshmen and sophomores, so they just stayed. No one left. Like that year was crazy. Markelle Fultz here, UNC won. Justin Jackson was the highest pick from that team. He was 15th.
Jackson.
DeAndre Ayton's year, Villanova won again, and Mikal Bridges was the highest pick. So that's what, like 2 years later, those guys were like juniors and seniors. So now they left. That's Mikal Bridges, Dante DiVincenzo, Hart, what's your boy named Brunson? Like that was that whole squad. So they won. Real tough team. So they won twice. But Mikal Bridges was the highest pick from that group. He was number 10. Zion's year, Texas Tech won. That was Jared Culliver. He was the 6th pick. COVID year, so nobody won. Kay Cunningham, Davion Mitchell. That was the year Baylor won. He was pick number 9. Paulo years, Kansas won. I don't know how to pronounce dude's name, but he was drafted 14th. He's still in the league now doing his thing, so shout out to him. I don't know how to pronounce your name, brother. So
shout out to whoever that was.
Ocha. Yeah, I might make a graph or something put up here for y'all because I don't want to butcher that. But yeah, it's just like showing that most of these guys who have college success as a team, more than likely aren't going to be your top 1, 2, 3 picks. They're going to be more of the late lottery, role players coming in that develop to become more. So when it comes to college level, winning is trash for those dudes. Like, it's like, if you're a top tier pick, winning don't mean nothing to me, man. Like, just give me my year so I can be age requirement to get to the next level and have some fun while I'm doing this, bro. Like, let me get my semester over and make sure I'm qualified for the first semester. Once I'm done with that, once I know I'm pro-bound, I ain't going to class no more, man. Most dudes ain't going to class no more. So I'm focused on just me honing my skills to get ready to go to the league. Now, if you're middle of the pack guy, if you at a school like a Villanova, you're staying 3 or 4 years, winning is everything for you because you've shown that you know how to thrive in a winning situation, like you talked about earlier. You know what winning takes, like you know what it takes to become a winner because you are one. So it means more for you at that position because where you stayed 4 years, you had nothing to show for it. You ain't got no Elite 8, no Final 4, no championship, no nothing. You look at let's go Villanova, for example. Every one of those guys now have developed to become either the guy or a top 2 guy. Mikal Bridges is arguably going to be the guy or a top 2 guy. Cam Johnson, well, he ain't on the team, my bad, I'm lying. But he's in the same role, even though he went to another school. You go DiVincenzo, really solid role player. Gotta love him. You look at Jalen Brunson, he's probably the guy now, or at least one of the guys. Once again, another role player that stepped up for that team. So you look at these teams like a Villanova or a Gonzaga who usually keeps players for 3, 4 years. Winning means a lot more to those guys than it does if you're a Duke or a Kentucky or a Kansas or whatever. So if you don't have anything to show, if you're like a lottery pick or late lottery pick or later, it hurts you to not have some level of winning under your belt. But if you're a top tier guy, I don't care nothing about that, bro. Like, you can show me what you can show. Now, if you just now we care about the big matchups when you playing when Kentucky is playing a Duke or when Duke is playing a UNC, when UNC is playing a UCLA or whatever. When you got pro guys playing against other pro guys, now we're looking at okay, let's see what he's doing against him. When it was De'Aaron Fox versus Alonzo Ball, we're looking at that now. So when it comes to the top tier picks, the guys that you know pro bound, I don't care what you do in college, bro. Just don't get hurt. Don't do anything stupid. Middle of the pack guys, I need you to win. Winning means a lot more. But it's not everything. Because I could go through the whole list of guys who won the MOP that year. I did my research, guys. I prepared for you. The guys who won MOP that year, you probably don't even remember most of these guys anymore. But it just shows that it's not everything. So it gets a little overrated for me because you're like, oh, winning is everything. You got to win, 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 win. No, you don't, bro. Depending on who you are, it's qualified. Depending on who you are, winning is everything. If you a top tier guy, maintain. Middle of the pack guy, gotta win. You need that extra little boost to get you over the pack, over the hump, man. So I don't want y'all to kill me, man. But if you still disagree with me here, I think you're probably wrong. But what's up, man? What you think about that?
Nah, you got a solid point, man. The top tier guys, we don't necessarily need you to win. Now, do I want you to care about winning? Absolutely. But you don't have to win. You've proven all you need to prove after a certain point. We want you to play high level basketball and dominate. And that was the point of me throwing in the points about me and Shakar. They wanted him to play high level basketball and dominate because he was considered to be possibly one of those top tier guys. Like, not no number one draft pick top tier guy, but 6'6" guard, like in high school, point guard. He got potential to be really good. 6'6", 6'7", big man in high school. Let me see what you can do. Let me see what you can do. So it's different. So yeah, don't talk to your guys. You ain't gotta win, man. But care about winning, care about the game, be a good teammate, all that good stuff. They care about that stuff. Do we want you to care about all that good stuff? Yes. But if you don't win, hey, man, you know what they're gonna say? If Anthony Edwards has some help, they'd be a really good. They're gonna start throwing in them narratives. So they don't care, man. But then you got a guy like Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges was really good for that Villanova team. But we ain't finna take him over on Anthony Edwards because he won the national championship. Nah. He a good player though. And he's shown he can do what it takes to win. He knows how to win, like you said. And that's important. And we can use guys like that a lot of times. So like guys that affect winning. You need guys like that. But you also need a top tier guy. You ain't winning nothing without one of them. You need both. So that's just what it is. That's the difference.
Yeah, and I think at college is the whole dominating thing at college is kind of tough too, man. Because if you think about it, man, college players, the top tier college players, the college system is nothing like the pro system. So for someone to dominate at the college level and at the pro level is very rare because of that. So you're going against a lot more zones. You're going against a lot more congested defenses and offenses, really too. You're going against your own coach. You're trying to run a system over you being the system. Shout out to James Harden, even though it's not necessarily true anymore. You're dealing with that whole issue. But like that's why you don't see like Steph Curry's anymore. Like Steph Curry was crazy in college. He went crazy. Mainly because he was an underdog and like he was the guy. He really was that team and system. So it's like, bro, you do you regardless, and you just take that over to the pro game. So you don't see that as much anymore. Like you don't see KDs and Melos dominate in college, like be high level in college, and come over in pro. Trae Young, you don't see that as much. You don't see guys putting up 30-point games and just dominating and going crazy because the college game is not built for those guys. So for them, it's really just maintain, brother. Like, don't be sorry. That's all you gotta do. If you can't maintain, not be sorry. Don't get hurt. Don't get in trouble. We got you in your spots. The rest of you guys, we gotta start seeing this. That's what we gotta keep seeing that arrow pointing up for you. We gotta see more potential. more upside for you, man. So at the college level, it's really tricky because you got people who are built for it, and you know that. Just maintain, brother. Keep going. You got the middle of the pack guys. You got to keep seeing more from you. You got to be a winning player. But only we know you're a winning player is by actually winning. The top tier guys, we're going to gamble on your talent and your potential. For the middle of the pack, we don't know your potential fully yet, but we know you can win, so we'll gamble on that. So I think the domination thing at college is totally different for them, man. But winning's not everything, man. Stop saying that like it's a blanket statement across the board for everybody, man. Winning is not the end all be all for every single player, for every single situation. So that's it for me, man.
And man, I kind of agree with you, man. I can't lie. Winning is important. It's not everything. Let's say this: winning is not everything for a player's career. Let's say that, because if that was the case, my career would have been over in high school. Because I told you how my career went: lose a season, 500, winning season. So if someone was like winning, if all the college coaches looked at me and was like, they ain't winning enough, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'd be doing. Somebody army, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, winning isn't everything for a player's career. Winning should be everything to the player, but as far as their career, not necessarily. So I can agree with that.
Yeah, man. But I do want to know what you guys think, man. Do y'all agree that it matters a little bit more for these players and it impacts their career and where they're going towards? And you feel like the middle of the pack guys. You agree with the tier assessment if I did it, or even anything. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys feel about it. Comment below. Show some love or some hate, a little bit of both. That'd be amazing. So that's it, man. If you want to follow my guy Nelson, he's on Facebook, he's on Instagram, he's on Twitter. Got the stuff below. He got different names, so I can't shout everything out. They ain't like him like that, so you had to keep switching the game up for him. You want to follow me on social media? It's BeBall Jones. It's everywhere. BeBall Jones. Subscribe to this podcast. Show some love. Like it. Share it. Send it to a friend, an amigo, teammate, coach, anybody really. Just matter of fact, just go through your content and just share it with everybody. Just like, hey, it's mandatory. But no, that's it, man. Thank you guys for watching if you're on YouTube. Thank you guys for listening if you're on Spotify, Apple, or anywhere else. Appreciate you. Let me know what you guys think, man. And we'll see you next week, man. We out.